Hi, I'm Janet Glenn. Welcome back to Close to Home Southington's July Intermediate Saturday Sampler. So this month, this is our block, and we're going to be making the shapes called kitty cornered. You'll see that we do them in both 4-inch sizes and 2-inch sizes, and I'll get more into the ruler in a second. All right, so the ruler, we have never worked with this ruler before. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the ruler and then we'll get into some cutting. The ruler cuts kitty cornered shapes in 11 different sizes. Okay, it is made from just squares and rectangles, and all of the sizes are right on the ruler itself. So you can find any particular size from 1 inch to 6 inch that's going to fit your need. Okay, so the first things you want to do is we're going to look for step 1, which is going to cut our A units, which is our kite shape. Step B is going to cut our rectangles, which make up the B units. And then step 3, we're going to notch it so it fits exactly into the kite shape. And then the last thing we're going to do is use the last corner and we're going to trim it to size. Very simple ruler to use. It comes with amazing directions, and you can also watch the video from Creative Grids on the kitty cornered ruler. She does a wonderful job as well. All right, so let's get started. We're going to be making this shape, but just remember, not only are we making the 4-inch shape, but we're also going to be making a 2-inch as well. So let's get going, cutting. This block also uses a flying geese ruler. It is the Eleanor Burns large flying geese ruler, and it's the 2x4-inch finished size that we're going to be going for. We have done these in the past, so I'm going to not go over that in the video today, but just know they are the 2x4 finished. All right? So when we're cutting our kits, let's start with the green. We're cutting 4 5-inch squares. The red, we're going to cut a 5.5, and then 8 3-inch squares. The tan is a 7-inch square. And then we're going to cut a 5.25, a 5.25, and those are also cut into rectangles, which are 3.5 wide. The next cut is going to be a 2.5 wide, 2 of them, and they are going to be cut just 3.25 high each. So again, rectangles, rectangles. Okay, the gold is simply cut into 4 3-inch squares, and the last one is the blue. You're going to be getting a nice big rectangle. So the blue is going to be cut 3. These are 2.5 strips, and they're going to be cut 3.25 wide. Okay, so this strip is 3.25. Cut by 2.5 inch wide. And all these directions are with the kit, and they are also on the ruler, so you'll be able to follow those as well. So just so that you know, the 2 pieces I've labeled 5.5 flying geese for the red and 7-inch for the tan, and we're just going to set those aside. The remainder of the pieces on the mat are what you're going to need for the kitty cornered ruler. Okay, so let's get started. I will be making this shape for you, which is a 4-inch finished. The nice thing about the ruler is it does make 2 units at a time. So we're going to take 2 squares of the green, and we're going to take 2 units of the rectangles, and this will make 2 of those shapes. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is make our A units. All the squares make up the A unit, which again is the kite-shaped. So we're going to go ahead and fold our squares on the diagonal ones, and we're just going to go over and give that just a little bit of press to hold it down. I'm going to come to the front. So just a little bit of a pressing, just to hold it into shape. And I just hold the corner together and give it a little bit of a press. Okay? Okay, so now we're going to go find our step 1 on our ruler. So step 1 says, whoops. Step 1 says to, see if you can read it on this, to fold your square diagonally and place the fold on this line. So we're looking for step 1 for our A unit. So I'm going to place this point up into the corner and the diagonal fold along the dashed line, and we're just going to trim it. So that's all is needed for the A unit. Okay? So that's throwing away, and here we have our A unit. So I have to do that twice. So we're going to line this corner right up with the corner of our triangle. The fold goes right along the line, and we'll trim it. Okay? And then what I like to do is just give it a little press to take out the crease that I put in. Just to hold it down. And again, don't forget to put best press on your kits when you get them. Okay, so here we have our A units. Okay. The next thing we want to do is to take our rectangles for the 4-inch finished and lay them right sides together. Okay. We're going to find step 2 on our ruler, which is the next corner, and this is for cutting the B units. And what we're going to do is align the left edge with the left top corner into this blunt area right here, and I'll show you that. So I'm going to take my rectangle, put them right on top, right sides together, and line up the left edge of my rectangle and the blunt side at the top. So you'll see a reverse on this side. So we're just going to cut these right along the edge. And I'm going to have 2 of these units. The next thing we want to do is turn our ruler one more time and look for step 3. Step 3 is going to clip this little corner to make it easier to fit in the notch on our unit A's. Okay. So they give me the lines right here, and they're going to follow right along the edge of my B unit. If you can see, here's my lines. I'm just lining them up and just trimming this little tiny tab off. Okay, so I'll turn this one around, and I'm trimming this one off. Not the 90 degrees, but this one. Okay. All right. So what I've done is I've created a left and a right by placing these right sides together. So I have a left and a right, and a left and a right. So when we sew these, we're going to go sew these. We want to sew from the corner that we've notched. This little, that's step 3 that we've done. We're going to do the right side first. So by placing this on here, we're able to line up the edge of our A with that notch that we cut off on our B. All right, and we're just going to sew 1/4 of an inch all the way down. Don't worry that B is longer than A or that it hangs off, because we're going to trim this when we're all done. So let me go ahead and sew my unit from here all the way down and press it. All right, so let me go ahead and do that. So we're just going to place the edge of our foot right along the edge. Make sure you hold on to both the top and the bottom all the way down. You're running out of room down here, but just keep those right on top of each other. And we'll go ahead and sew 1/4 inch. We'll go right off. Now you can chain piece all these. You can practically do all of these at the same time, all the right-hand sides for the 4 inch, and then you can even move to the 2 inch as well. So this is what we're going to get when we're done, and we're going to press them always toward the small triangle, B unit. Sorry. All right, so again, a little bit of heat. Soften up our seam a little bit and really press that nice and tight, nice and firm. Okay, so once we have that, we're ready for the other side. So let me grab this one. So remember this one, I had cut the notch off on this side, and that one is going to be put right up at the top of our A unit. Because we always want to start sewing from that notch down, once we get this lined up, we're just going to flip it over and sew our 1/4 inch. Okay, so I'll take this over to the sewing machine. And we'll go ahead and sew this at 1/4. Hold on to it, make sure it's lined up, both the A and B right on the side. If it starts to slip a little bit along here, just make sure you move that B unit right over so that the A and B are right on top of each other. Okay. All right, we're going to press this, and I'll show you how to trim up your block. So again, a little bit of heat. And we're going to flip that over, and we've created a kitty cornered unit, but now we need to trim it. So let's go back to our ruler. There's one more corner that we need to look at. Sorry. And that is the trim corner. So we've done step 1, step 2, step 3, and now we're down to the trim. So when we trim this, we're going to line up the point of our A unit right in this corner where it shows the little tag mark there. All right, and don't forget, it already has the seam allowance built in. So once I have this lined up into that corner, I'm going to follow this solid line, and it's going to come out the corner of my A unit. So I'm pretty centered between here, and I know where to trim, and I'm going to trim these two first. All right, so let's get it on a cutting mat, line it up. I'm lining it up here and here, and I'm going to go ahead and cut these two sides. There's a lot of bulk down here, so give that a shot. Okay, once we've trimmed these two sides, we're just going to rotate our unit, and we're going to place it into the 4-inch mark. Now remember, the ruler has all built-in seam allowances. We're only working with finished sizes on this ruler. So I need a finished 4-inch square, so I'm just going to line it up and trim. Okay, so there we go. We have created our kitty corner block. Okay, so with that said, let's go look at our 2-inch now. We have 3 different 2-inch blocks that we need to work with. If I have all my A units going in one direction, you'll notice the center square has blue left and right B's. 4 of my red A's have a B left and a tan right, and 4 of my red A's have a tan left and a blue right. So these two, when you cut them, we're going to piece them together into a finished 2 by 4 inch square. So this would be 2.5 by 4.5 when you sew it together. Once you sew that together, you can go ahead and sew your flying geese to the top of it to create your 4-inch square. Okay, so now that we have our 4-inch, we can go ahead and construct our 9 patch. Pretty much that's what it's going to be. What I've done in a lot of these seams is I've pressed my seam open to reduce the bulk. Okay. I think it's a fantastic ruler. I don't think there's much waste with the fabric. The fact that you can make 2 at a time, you can make all different sizes, and everything is complete right on the ruler. All the cutting instructions are right on the ruler as well. But don't forget, you can visit Creative Grid's Kitty Cornered. You can print out the directions in the instructions. They come with the instructions. You have my instructions. And of course, you can come in anytime and ask questions. So let me go over what's going to happen on July 10th. That's Friday. You can come pick up your kits, you can pick up your directions, and you can pick up your ruler as well. If you'd like to call ahead or email us, we can certainly do this all over the phone and get that ruler to you with your kit and have it ready for you. You can email us at close@snet.net. Or of course you can call the store and we'll get everything ready for you. We still have curbside pickup, so if you want to stay in your car, just call us from the parking lot. We'd be happy to bring out your kit and your instructions. And one final note, the quilt challenge, the due date for the quilt challenge is coming up, is July 15th. So if you've been working on your musical block that's 20 inches, please get it to us by July 15th, and we'll get that into the challenge, get that over to Glastonbury. Okay, so just a quick note on that. Any other questions, please call us, and it was great I miss everybody, and happy quilting. Bye.